scientists as faculty, industry-driven curricula, research and innovation avenues, and technology-enabled learning, but also holistic development with emphasis on employability and placements and numerous student-centric initiatives. One such initiative is the Study Abroad Program, or SAP, wherein you can pursue part of the semester at Amity campuses in New York, Singapore, London, Australia and Dubai, and prepare to be a global corporate citizen with an exposure to foreign culture. In all streams of interest to class 12 students like you. Teamwork and leadership skills.
At Amity University, Gwalior,
A very warm morning, ladies and gentlemen. I, Rinku Bhatia, accord a warm and cordial welcome to you all to inaugural session of the National Conference on Advancing Engineering Frontiers, Innovations, Challenges and Solutions, organized by Amity School of Engineering and Technology, Amity University, Madhya Pradesh. It is a proud privilege and honor to have with us our distinguished guest, Professor Sridhar, Vice Chancellor, Hindustan Institute of Technology and Science, Chennai, Dr. Rajesh Yadav, Assistant Professor, University of Southern Malaysia, and Dr. Yash Chawla, Assistant Professor, Wroclaw University, Poland. Honorable Pro-Chancellor, Lieutenant General V.K. Sharma, Ati Vishesh Seva Medal, Professor Dr. M.P. Kaushik, Pro-Vice Chancellor Research, HOIs, HODs, all the members of faculty, participants, attendees, staff, and the students. I once again welcome all respected guests and thank you all for sparing your valuable time to be with us today. Frontier technologies have grown significantly in the last 2 decades and will continue to impact economic and social systems in future. Access to knowledge and technology have contributed to solutions for environmental, social, and economic problems. From opening new options for renewable energy to revolutionizing the delivery of government services, improving healthcare, and creating new jobs, technology impacts almost everyone's lives daily. The national conference being held today offers a dynamic platform for engineers, researchers, and industry professionals to collaborate and exchange ideas on cutting-edge advancements in engineering. With a wide scope covering various engineering disciplines, the conference provides opportunities for interdisciplinary discussions, fostering innovation and problem solving. To mark the beginning of the conference, let us take the blessings of Ma Saraswati, goddess of knowledge, and fold our hands for puja in virtual mood.
श्वेतपद्मासना
Thank you, everyone. Amity University, Madhya Pradesh has been awarded as the best private university of Madhya Pradesh twice under the influential and charismatic leadership of our Honorable Pro-Chancellor, Lieutenant General V.K. Sharma at the Vishesh Seva Medal. Under his able guidance, right from 2011 till today, university has grown by leaps and bounds towards excellence and has been ranked amongst the top 200 universities in the country in NIRF rankings. Also, Amity School of Engineering and Technology has been ranked #1 private engineering institute in Madhya Pradesh. May I request, sir, for delivering the opening remarks. Please, sir.
Dr. M.P. Kaushik, the Pro Vice Chancellor, Amity University, Madhya Pradesh, Dr. Raghavendra Sharma, Dr. Vikas Thada, Dr. Hemant, all the keynote speakers who have joined us today, all the faculty members and students who have joined us today online for this very important topic, which is on advancing engineering frontiers, innovations, challenges, and solutions. Today, technology is advancing at a very fast pace. A lot of research is being done. New technologies are coming up, and it is difficult indeed to keep pace with all what is happening in various fields, particularly engineering. But the price that we have to pay for technology is not being viewed in the same manner in which the advancement of technology is being viewed. Lifestyles today are becoming more stringent, leading to various diseases. We are forced to breathe the air quality which is not good. We are forced to live with the waste which is around us, which we do not want to see. We are forced to eat the food with pesticides, high levels inside it. There is acute shortage of water, particularly in the metro cities, and the days ahead do not look to be that good as it should be with the advancement of technology. Technology is making our lives more and more comfortable, but at what cost? A tremendous cost today is being paid for us by all these things which I have mentioned. There is a need to have a renewed look towards the areas of research in which we should focus. Countries like India do not as yet require driverless cars because there are enough drivers in India who will find jobs to drive vehicles. What India requires today is the research to reduce or do away a few things which I am going to mention. First, most important is the burning of rubble, which happens by the farmers, causing tremendous pollution in the atmosphere, making difficult to breathe, in particularly metros. There have been instances when the schools have to be closed for a few days because the air quality is so bad that it is becoming difficult to breathe in Delhi. There have been instances when the persons, especially children and older generation, are falling sick because of polluted air, lack of oxygen, asthma problems are happening. So therefore, burning of rubble, if a technology can be found to stop that or to give a cheaper solution to the farmers, that they can convert that rubble into maybe a mineral, maybe a material which can be used as a khad, or it can be used some other manner it can be disposed of. The second is waste management. A lot of waste generated, particularly from plastics, is floating around it blocks the drains, particularly in the rainy season. Floods are prevalent, and then damage takes place because the drainage system gets blocked by the waste material, particularly plastics. Plastic thin sheets are also eaten by animals, leading to the milk which we get from the animals is not worth consuming, and many wise people have stopped taking milk because of this reason. Another thing which is important is cheap and renewable energy. We want green energy today. We want the pollution because of vehicles to reduce. A technological advancement is required in that direction. Solar energy is the in thing, and sooner or later, we have to move towards solar energy in a big way. The initiative taken by the government of India to provide facilities for rooftop installation of solar power panels on subsidy is a big step indeed. But still, the cost of solar cells and their maintenance continues to be quite high as compared to what people can afford. Therefore, in spite of this government initiative, there aren't very many takers, and it has not affected the way we thought that people will go in for this scheme. Otherwise, this is an excellent scheme wherein subsidy is being provided by the government if you install solar panels on rooftop. So this needs to be made cheaper, and we need to produce efficient solar cells which can convert solar heat into electricity without the need for charging of batteries, which is the current state as prevalent today. Also, we need cheaper electrical vehicles. Electrical vehicles are green vehicles for tomorrow, and they will be the vehicles which will be in use after another about 15-20 years. We will have number of green vehicles or electrical vehicles floating around. But the cost of these vehicles is very high. The charging time required is very high. And not very many charging stations are available in India, which can be effectively used for charging. And battery interchange or exchange of battery with a charged battery system is available, but even that is not prevalent because the infrastructure for electrical vehicles is not available to the desired extent, which has to increase. Another problem is about disposal of the batteries after they have lived their life. Where do you throw away these batteries? Because you are all aware they've got toxic material inside, and they cannot be just thrown away like that. In water, if you throw away, the water will get polluted. So therefore, how these will be disposed of is another thing on which much research needs to be done. We also need to do research on water purification. Today, we all know that water is becoming a scarce resource, and particularly in metros. The recent example being Bengaluru, where water scarcity has hit in a big way. Suddenly, the value of properties there has fallen down because people don't want to go to Bengaluru because of lack of water. And this is not going to stop here. More cities are in line in future if we if we are not able to produce some technology which can give us clean water at cheaper prices. Countries like Israel, which are landlocked or which have got very less resources, they have resorted to the seawater being used as drinking water after processing. Sooner or later, India will have to go for such kind of technology where the sea water which is available in abundance should be processable at an affordable cost, and that water should be then transportable in a manner that it could be supplied to landlocked cities like Bengaluru. That is what is required, and in that direction, India must progress if we are to make progress with regard to the drinking water, which is the essential for living of mankind. It's not a luxury. Today, India needs these things. Another thing which is of importance today is the amount of pesticides which is there in food products. The pesticides are being used to kill various bacteria or various infestations which happens by flies, by TDs, etc. But the amount of pesticide which then remains in the eatables is so much that there is no methodology of removing it, and that causes damage to our systems inside. Our organs are failing because of existing excessive pesticides which are there in eatables. Somehow we need to control that. We need to have methodology of either removal of pesticides or use minimum pesticides, etc. Another important thing which is happening in fruits. Today it is almost impossible to get a fruit which has been naturally ripened. All fruits are being ripened by using carbides or by using ethanol or by using such like things, chemicals, because man wants early money. Man cannot wait for the fruits to ripen on trees and then be eaten. No, we want to pluck them when they are still green. We want to ripen the fruits using chemicals, and we want early money. That is what is happening. And who is the person who is paying the price? We all are paying the price. There are examples where people have fallen sick by eating fruits. Unscrupulous people who are injecting the chemicals inside the fruits, like even watermelon, etc. The water is being, injections are being given to those to make them get ripened early, notwithstanding that the health of countrymen is getting spoiled. That people are not bothered. We need to find technologies or even the startups. I would say, if somebody can think of a startup where they can give us fruit which is ripened directly at the tree itself and not through chemicals, I think it will be a big hit, and lot many people will go in, even if the cost is more. These are some of the problems that we need to ponder upon and think that we need to lay our research in these areas which will benefit truly mankind. The other areas of research which are happening, no doubt, are also there. But remember one thing, cost effectiveness is something which must be thought of while you are producing any product or while you are thinking of producing any technology. Any technology which you produce, which is having tremendous cost, is not saleable and of not much use in the present day. We must see what is the need of the day today and try to ensure that those things we concentrate our research on and those things we produce, and we put our minds together to things which are affecting humanity directly. All of us are being affected. So that is the need of the hour. We got very good speakers lined up today. A number of panel sessions are going to happen. And of course, the students who are listening to me today are also a part of research. Now with the new education policy, all 3 years programs having been converted to 4 years, and 4th year being either with honors or with research. I urge all the students, the young minds, to come up with new ideas to ensure that the needs of humanity, particularly in a country with vast population like India, are met. So I thank you very much, and I congratulate the organizers for having organized this international or the national conference on advancing engineering frontiers, innovations, challenges, and solutions. And I'm sure it will be a great success. So thank you very much. Best wishes. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, sir, for setting the right tone for the proceedings of the conference today. Your words of wisdom always guide and inspire us. We have with us our distinguished guest, Dr. Rajesh Yadav, as the keynote speaker. Dr. Yadav is an assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science at University of Southampton, Malaysia. He is also serving as group head of Cybersecurity Hub for both the Malaysian campus of the University of Southampton as well as the main Highfield campus in UP. Dr. Rajesh is an educator with around 2 decades of extensive experience at both national and international level in the development of positive and productive learning environment with creativity and innovation in teaching learning process. He has a high ability in curriculum design and development of course materials, teaching resources to suit the specific needs and interests of students. Dr. Rajesh has an expertise in the field of cybersecurity covering various domains such as information security and privacy, malware analysis, digital forensics, cyber threat intelligence, and threat hunting. He has rich experience in establishment and coordination of different cybersecurity labs at various institutions in which he has worked previously. Dr. Rajesh's research areas are mainly focused on malware analysis, machine learning, and cyber threat intelligence. He has published papers in various reputed journals and has also presented his research at various reputed conferences in different parts of the world. He has professional memberships of Association for Computing Machinery, ACM, American Association for the Advancement of Science, AAAS, International Association of Engineers, and Association for Information Science and Technology. May I now request Dr. Rajesh for his deliberations. Please, sir.
Dr. Rajesh, you have to unmute.
Yeah, okay. Very good morning to everybody. First of all, thank you very much to Lieutenant General V.K. Sharma, Professor Dr. M.P. Kaushik, Convener Professor Vivek Jagla, and Co-Convener Professor Vikas Thadaji, and other members of the organizing committee to invite me as keynote speaker for this conference. And I'm really happy to be a part of this. So may I start my sessions, if the permission?
Please go ahead.
Just give me a minute. I hope my presentation is visible to the
Visible, Dr. Rajesh. Please go ahead.
I hope, is it visible?
Visible,
Yes, yes.
visible.
Thank you very much. So again, thank you very much for inviting me as a keynote speaker to our national conference on advancing engineering frontiers, innovation, challenges, and solutions. That is AEFICS 2024. My name is Dr. Rajesh Yadav. I am associated with the Department of Computer Science at University of Southampton, Malaysia. So the title of my talk is The Rising Challenges to Cybersecurity. This is the outline of my presentation that I have divided into certain parts. First, I would like to discuss about what is cybersecurity, the 6 most crucial key components of cybersecurity like cyber threat intelligence, vulnerability management, and others. Then in the second step, I'll discuss about the changes that we have seen in the digital world. Today, the changes that we see in the digital world and the possible changes that we expect our digital world to show us in the coming time. Then I'll move on to discuss about various rising challenges to cybersecurity. Some of them are like cyber hackers are trying to target the various critical infrastructures. Different nation states are involved in various cyber warfares. Different countries are targeting each other. And as we all know that artificial intelligence is now involved in almost every segment of our society. So I'll also discuss about various cyber attacks that are powered by artificial intelligence. Then I'll discuss about latestly in 2024, the top 15 most crucial cybersecurity threats, countries and the nation states who are behind those cyber attacks. I'll also present some cybercrime statistics and global reports, which will help us to understand what actually is happening and what we can expect in tomorrow's cyber world. I'll also discuss about the where our country India stands in terms of cybercrime, the various cybercrime hotspots which are existing in different parts of our country India. Then I'll move on to talk about what sort of category of different cyber attacks actually contribute to percentage-wise in the whole environment of the cybercrime. At the end, I will talk about the 12 best practices to cybersecurity. So cybersecurity basically refers to the practice of protecting different environments that involves our computer systems, network environments, data, as well as information from any sort of unauthorized access. That might also include some sort of theft, cyber attacks, damage, or data leakage that we all know. So cybersecurity basically involves a wide range of processes, different technologies, techniques, practices that we use to designing and to safeguard various digital assets to ensure the three strongest pillars of information security, which are confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Now, coming to the key components of cybersecurity, there are 6 key components of cybersecurity. These are endpoint security, vulnerability assessment and penetration testing, threat intelligence, threat hunting, firewalls, and incident response and management. So endpoint security basically is a process of collecting, processing, and analyzing the information from various endpoint devices. I mean, those simple devices that we used in almost every day in our life: routers, switches, firewalls, our mobile devices, workstation services, and all. Next is known as vulnerability assessment and penetration testing, which is a very important aspect, key point of cybersecurity, in which organizations, the cybersecurity professionals, IT teams in the organizations, they help organizations to identify the weaknesses, loopholes, or vulnerabilities in their IT infrastructure, and then try to check the validity of those loopholes through pen testing environment. Third key component is a very crucial component, and I believe is the most important component in cybersecurity, that is known as threat intelligence, which is basically a process of collecting, processing, and analyzing the information, and later on using that information to understand the possible surface where the attack will happen, the attack behavior, the potential targets that we can have. So once this process CTI, that is cyber threat intelligence, is over in cybersecurity, we are able to cover up and understand various indicators of compromise that actually serves as a very crucial information, which helps us to move on to the next stage, that is known as threat hunting, in which case we try to perform a thorough search of the entire target environment to understand what is happening there in that part. We all know firewalls, one of the most crucial part and component of every network infrastructure, also plays a very important role in securing these different IT infrastructures. Preferably in today's world, we all know we are not dealing with conventional threats. We are dealing with more dangerous, that kind of threats, which are more crucial and more very difficult to handle. I'm talking about advanced persistent threats. So this is the right time that organizations and we all of us must think to use advanced kind of firewalls that is known as NGFW, which is next generation firewalls, which has different set of features like application level inspection, cloud delivered threat intelligence, dynamic malware analysis, integrated IDS, intrusion prevention system, and intrusion detection systems also. The last key component of cybersecurity is incident response and management, in which case we try to identify, we try to respond and recover from various security threats that could be faced by the different IT organizations. Incident response is actually a process of around 6 steps. We start with identification, then protection, identification, protect, detect, respond, recover, and educate. So these are the 6 key pillars or key components of cybersecurity. Now, moving on to the changing digital world, the world that we have seen yesterday, the world that we are seeing today, and possibly the world that we see in tomorrow. So we all know that every second, every minute, and every hour, number of users, more and more number of users are getting connected to the internet, to the network environments. More and more devices are also being added. So it would be like 4 billion connected people right now we are having connected globally in the part to the various infrastructures through internet. New devices are also added, like we have 200 billion IoT devices presently working in the environment. And in fact, before we finish up our conference today, I'm pretty sure more and more devices will be used will be connected in the coming time. Now, there are a large number of applications that are being used. Since more and more devices are being used, more and more users are active in the internet environment. So around 25 million plus applications are being used, which have their innovative usages and accesses. Now, keeping in mind 3 points: growing number of users, new devices types added, innovative usages and access, we can easily think of like there is a large amount of data that is actually generated. It approximately goes to like 50 trillion gigabytes, which is a huge size. Now, when you talk about digital world, cybersecurity, now digital world is good. Everybody is now a part of the digital world, but this also brings certain issues. We call them cybersecurity issues. Now, these issues can happen to different environments, different infrastructures. Some of them are, for example, defense. It could be transportation. It could be energy, like smart grids, food and grocery. It is also the critical infrastructure of our education and innovations environment. It will be the communication environment and all. So these changes in the digital world actually convinces us to understand the rising challenges which we are facing right now. And in tomorrow, cyber warfare will be facing more number of cybersecurity challenges. Now, coming to the cybersecurity challenges, there are 7 challenges that I have figured it out and would like to present over here. The first one is increasing targets to our critical infrastructure. The second one is each country would like to dominate in the world of cyber warfare and would like to attack other countries for their different reasons. That could be political reason, that could be to have financial gains or other things. Third is, as I already said, AI is used in almost every segment of our society and will be used in more segments in the coming time. So cyber attacks are also nowadays, and I'm sure in the coming time will be more backed up and powered by artificial intelligence. A lot of IoT devices are being used. So all of them, many of them could face also some cybersecurity challenges that I'll talk about in the coming slides. There are many privacy and data protection regulations, like we have GDPR, we have FISMA, we have in India, the Digital Personal Data Protection Act. The second one last is the Zero Trust Security, also known as Zero Trust Architecture, which is actually a very responsible architecture, specially designed for organizations to strengthen their security posture. The last one is cyber insurance market growth. So there are increasing targets of critical infrastructure. By critical infrastructure, I mean different environments. That could be defense and national security. That could be banking and finance, food and grocery. It could be the energy, the smart grids, cloud environment, space, our education, research and innovation sector. Of course, the transport sector, communication plays a very, very important role. The sector of the water pipelining and others, and healthcare environment in that part. So we all know that more and more, day by day, more and more devices are being interconnected and they are relying on these digital technologies. So this actually brings a lot of cyber security risk to these kind of cyber infrastructures like energy, transportation, and many other. So in the coming time, you all must be pretty sure that we may surely see a rise in these sophisticated attacks targeting these sectors. And potentially once these sectors are being attacked, this could surely lead to some disruptions and significant economic consequences. Talking about the same part, last year in 2023, on different critical infrastructures and sectors, we have seen large number of attacks in that part, crucial attacks, the major attacks I'm trying to talk about here. 148 attacks in the healthcare and public health services environment, around 89 in financial services. This goes on to IT sector has faced around 74 major attacks all over the world in that part. Critical manufacturing phase 65, government facilities phase 60, and it goes like this. Defense and industrial base also faced one, the major cybersecurity attacks. And so it really demands that cybersecurity professionals and the different organizations should surely carefully work upon strengthening their security threat posture, because critical infrastructure plays a very, very important role in our society in that part through different sectors, as we can see. Moving on to the countries trying to dominate other countries in the cyber warfare. We call them rise of nation state warfare. So this is the situation where the threat actors who belong to specific nations, they continue to develop advanced cyber capabilities. To look into it, the different environments of other countries, we call that espionage, sabotage, or some sort of political influence. Now, in the coming time, as a rising challenge to cybersecurity, we will surely see an escalation of cyber warfare activities between nations, including these activities like espionage, affecting the critical infrastructures, disinformation campaigns, like these deepfakes are also very much coming. So as we can see in the figure, there are different industry sectors which are targeted by these kind of nation state actors. Information technology contributes to the most, with 22% of the effect that has been marked on the information technology. NGOs and think tanks have faced around 17% of these attacks. Our education sector globally has faced around 14%. Government organizations have faced around 10%. Finance sector has faced 5%. Media faced 4%. Each one of the three sectors like healthcare, transportation, and intergovernment organizations have faced around 2% each, as well as the communication sector also. So this is also something very important to be carefully considered, the rising cyber attacks among the nation state cyber warfare. As I said before, we all know artificial intelligence has now started playing a very important role, and there are a lot of uses of cyber intelligence, artificial intelligence in almost every segment of our society. So cyber security and cyber attacks are not, I'm pretty sure, will not be able to escape from such kind of phenomena. There are 8 environments where AI can play a crucial role, maybe helping the threat actors, or if simply we can say hackers, to launch various type of crucial cyber attacks. These could be not be the normal conventional threats, will not be the normal like advanced persistent threats. They will be the evasive kind of threats involving different evasive malware activities. So AI can play a role in the vulnerability discovery, exploitation to the target with the payload, data theft and data leakage. Phishing is something that we have already been seeing from so many years. But here I would like to talk about like the smart phishing, which will be powered by the backup by the artificial intelligence algorithms. Botnets we know where different machines are taken in control by a hacker through the command and control server, but we'll be facing smart botnets in the coming time. And all these things are actually will be having a central point of focus, very minimal or no human intervention. So the machines and algorithms will be working on their own in that part and launching the various attacks. That could be DDoS attacks and injecting the evasive malware into the victim machines. We are living in the world of IoT. In the coming time, our world will be having more and more number of IoT devices playing a very important role. So cybersecurity also poses some sort of challenges and security issues in the world of IoT, Internet of Things. The first one is like confidentiality, could be integrity, privacy, availability, authentication of different types, biometric, mutual, and many other types, known reputation, and key management. So we'll surely see in the coming time a large increase in the large-scale IoT botnet attacks. So different devices will be combined and clubbed together. They will be working under the authority and command of one hacker who will be controlling all those devices through a system environment that we call as CNC, command and control. These IoT devices, since they will be belonging to different critical infrastructures, consumer device and industrial system, so they are surely in a very dangerous domain these days because of the cyber attacks. As an example, I'm projecting a picture like where a threat actor is actually using a command and control, the CC server, to raise cyber attacks on various IoT devices and potentially bringing down the target. That could also be the DDoS attack in that case. After the challenge of IoT devices, yes, industry, organizations, different countries, they have their own privacy and data protection regulations. But are they really enough to deal with various issues like data breaches, cyber attacks, surveillance, and lack of transparency? At the more, I would like to emphasize on GDPR, which is General Data Protection Regulation, CCPA, which is California Consumer Privacy. In fact, our country, India, has come up with, like Digital Personal Data Protection Act, which came into effect last year in September 1, 2023. But in addition to that, there should be the inclusion of some other standards also that we call them information technology standards for cloud security, as most of us are having almost each part of our data segment stored in the cloud environment. It could be standards like ISO 270172015, the most two famous standards known as ISO 27001, 27002 should be properly used in that part to deal with certain security breaches. This is something which is a very, very important concept in cybersecurity when we talk about zero trust security, which is implemented by deploying a zero trust architecture. When I say zero trust architecture, it simply means it's an architecture that is designed for different environments of organizations, where even a small request, no matter the request come from inside or outside of the sources, is considered as a dangerous request and should be properly verified. So any request to the network, the basic ideology behind zero trust architecture, zero trust security is any request to the network should never be trusted. It should properly be verified through different mechanisms like authentications based on identity and consent. And then a clear visibility is being shown about that request to different environments like devices, data, people, and workload. This is where it is the right time for organizations to adopt this kind of holistic approach to our security, implementing very hardened access controls, continually going authentication parts, and micro-segmentation to protect against various insider threats, as well as lateral movement attacks by the attackers from the outside. Organizations are facing cyber attacks. They will continue to face more and more cyber attacks in the coming time. But what about the financial loss that could be faced by all these kind of organizations? So this is the global cyber insurance market that shows that from last year onwards until the next 9 years, till 2033, the market size will grow to $90.6 in billion. This includes both kind of insurance things like standalone as well as packages. So this will actually help organizations to increasingly view their cyber insurance actually as a critical component of their risk management strategy. Insurers, on the other side, companies who provide these kind of cyber insurance to the different organizations, they will also be able to trying to develop new products and services to address evolving cyber risk, because they also know about the rising challenges to the cybersecurity. Now, coming to present here, the top 15 cybersecurity threats. Some of them belong to threats that we have already been facing. Some of them that we will be facing more crucial, since, as I said before, we are not living in the cyber era, cyber world where we only talk about and focus on conventional threats. It is the time to talk about more advanced persistent threats. The first ranking goes to the ransomware attacks, where threat actors have a very clear intention to block access to the services of a victim device or a victim server, and in return to provide their access back to them, they demand some sort of ransoms in that part. Ransomwares were there in the previous times. During COVID, top-notch companies, even like Cognizant, faced a lot of economic loss, where ransomware attacks at their 16 different locations on their 22 servers happened. But in 2024 and every year after 2024, we'll be facing more advanced ransomware, where the attackers will not only be launching ransomware, they will be launching Viperware kind of attacks. Viperware is an advanced type of ransomware, which doesn't work like a normal ransomware, that is to return the access to the victim after the ransom is paid. Viperware, even after taking the ransom, will surely never provide the recovery. So there is no going back. The second cyber threat goes to the IoT vulnerabilities, different IoT vulnerabilities, since more and more IoT devices are in use these days. Phishing and social engineering attacks will surely grow in number in the coming time. Companies have their supply chain environment, which is actually the backbone of the companies. This is something which is carefully considered and known by the threat actors also. So they will surely like to raise some sort of attacks on their supply chain attacks. AI again comes a very use. As I said, artificial intelligence powered cyber threats will be there, which have the capacity to evade themselves from being detected. So even anti-malware, antiviruses, and other firewalls and other entities will not be able to detect and stop them to happen. Sixth one goes to APTs, those threats which are more advanced as compared to conventional threats. So the basic ideology of threat actors while performing advanced persistent threats, that is APT, is to gain and maintain an illicit access to the network to mine high sensitive information. So in this way, I can simply say their intention is to gain and maintain the access to the network, and their intention is never to go in, get in and get out as quickly as possible. So this makes APTs as one of the crucial cybersecurity threats to look after. Zero-day exploits, seventh one. The zero-day exploits corresponds to the zero-day vulnerability, loophole, weakness, or a vulnerability that could be there during the development of a product. And the interesting thing is that vulnerability may not be known to the vendor and the developers. As I said before, we all know most of our cloud services and applications, our data is stored in the cloud. So definitely hackers would be targeting the cloud, raising some sort of cloud security risk. We are living in a world where mobile devices are a very, very important part of our life. This is something which is always close to us. So mobile malware and malleabilities will be increasing in number. Insider threats, 10th number. These insider threats basically corresponds to the rogue business providers, stakeholders, unhappy employees of a company, of an organization. They may be raising some sort of cybersecurity issues to the organizations in which they are also the employees of that organizations. Artificial intelligence is there to help society, but definitely it will also go in an opposite direction, where we could see some misuse of AI in the coming time. A lot of data breaches and privacy violations will be there. Phishing techniques will strengthen their workability, will go to the advanced phishing mechanisms. Nation-state cyber attacks. 15th and the last one is the cryptocurrency related threats. For example, the threat actors would like to target the transactions. The can also perform some sort of attacks like cryptojacking attack, in which they would like to hack a victim's machine and then use the victim's machine to its computing power, resource power, to mine cryptocurrency. So these are the top most crucial cyber threats to look after in year 2024 and beyond. Who is beyond those cyber attacks? Different countries are participating, almost all of the countries. So if I talk about 44.8, the major percentage basically goes to those countries which have yet not been identified. Second goes to China, which is 11.9%. Russia has a percentage of around 11.6%. In fact, I have also worked upon some crucial malware, which is known as Whispergate. We all know Russia launched an attack on Ukraine in year 2022. But most of the people in the world knows that the actual attack, physical attack, started in February, but actually the real attack started in around starting of 2022, when the Russian agencies tries to hack all the critical infrastructures of Ukraine agencies. 5.3% goes to Iran, 4.7% goes to North Korea, 2.6% goes to Ukraine. US goes to 2.3%. Pakistan, our neighbor, goes to 1.8%. Turkey, 1.7%. Another countries that could be, maybe our country, India, also would be participating in that part. Malaysia, India, and other countries that participate to 13.4%. So these are different nation states which are behind raising different cyber attacks. If I project the cybercrime statistics, top 10 countries with the highest data breach cost. United States, US stands first. Middle East countries stand second. Canada, the neighbor of US, stands third. Germany, being a European country, stands at fourth. Japan, UK, France, Italy, and Latin America. This picture shows the highest data breach cost that has been suffered by different countries, 10 most. What is next? The cyber crimes are expected to skyrocket in the coming time, starting from 2018, 19, till today's date, 2024, although we are still in the middle of 2024, till year 2028, next 4-5 years, we will see a growing number of cyber crimes happening all over the world. So in terms of annual cost, it will add to around 13.82 trillion US dollars. We have been observing it from start of 2018, which was just 0.86. This year it is expected 9.22 and will surely be growing like 30-40% in the coming time in the next 4-5 years. So definitely this statistic should raise an alarm to help us understand, yes, we are living in a cyber era where there are a lot of challenges that we need to take care of in the coming time. Some more statistics for year 2024, 10.5 trillion of projected cost of because of the cyber crimes by next year. This is assumed, expected. US dollar 30 billion cost of crypto crimes annually by 2025. If I talk about cyber criminals earning $1.5 trillion through their activities yearly. Out of all the 100% of the 100 cyber attacks, 80% of these cyber crimes are because of the phishing attacks and social engineering. The amount of time, the total amount spent by different organizations, maybe countries or individual people in resolving those cyber crimes is on an average, it goes like 6.7 hours daily. $5.09 million is the highest cost of data breach that the USA that has happened last year in 2023. By 2031, it is the estimated annual cost of ransomware, specifically the ransomware. That is the reason, as you remember, respected attendees, I mentioned ransomware is one of the most crucial the cybersecurity threat. So ransomware to victims will cost around $265 billion. Our country, India. There are major hotspots in India. They have been identified by different agencies. These hotspots have actually been the reason to attack not only the Indian citizens, but also citizens globally. 18% of this entire percentage goes to Bharatpur, place in Rajasthan. 12% goes to something like Mathura. No, goes to 11%. Devgarh belongs to 10%. Jamtara, I'm sure we already heard about something, even a web series has also been made on Jamtara in that part. It contributes to 9.6%. Gurgaon contributes to 8.1%. Alwara city in Rajasthan, which is neighboring to Gurgaon somewhere, it corresponds to, subjects to 5.9%. Bokaro, Karmat and Girid, this corresponds to 2.4, 2.4, 2.3%. Most prevalent cyber criminals, their ultimate aim through these different cybercrime hotspots in our country, India, is to perform some sort of online financial fraud. It contributes to 77.4% in that part. That includes hacking, damage to computer system, resources, online and social media. Although cyber experts, cyber staff of Indian police agencies, they are trying their best in that part, but still due to the less skills, not so much dominating skills of the cyber experts, these cyber criminals are still operating from these crime hotspots in our country. Moving on to cyber attacks are there, cyber security issues are there, but out of all the different types of cyber entities, malware, worms, botnets, who are actually responsible and up to what percentage they are responsible? Malware contributes to 11% of the raised cyber attacks. Worm, whose purpose is to access the network resources and not to hack any information from those resources in that part, but to bring it down, eat its computing resources. It contributes to 4%. Phishing contributes to 11%. Data breach, data leakage goes to 18%. Malicious hacking contributes to 18%, 26%. An advanced part of DDoS attack, which is distributed denial service attack, subjects to 4%. Human error, yes, it could also happen, 4%. Ransomware, 18%. And the last one is bot attack, which is botnet attack, which can be also raised to IoT devices and different server environments. It subjects to 4% in that part. At last, I would like to talk about the 12 top cybersecurity best practices that we can use in our education sector, companies can use depending on their business domains, supply chain, maybe critical infrastructures and other organizations, government sectors can also use. One of them is we all have to establish our robust cybersecurity policies. Second one is secure all our parameters and IoT connections, configure firewalls, configure all your resources, network resources in the best possible way. Third one is employ a people-centric security approach, not only bringing the advanced using the advanced kind of resources in our organization, but also we must educate people to how to stay away from hackers through their social engineering and other types of cyber attacks. We must be able to control access to sensitive data, manage passwords wisely. We must always monitor the activity of third-party and privileged users in that part, because we never know who can turn out to be a real threat actor from our own organization in that part. Manage supply chain risk through different resources. Enhance our data protection and management. Employ biometric security for different resources in that part. Use multi-factor authentication. That definitely we are already using that part in many different ways. 11th point is very crucial, which means conduct regular cybersecurity audits. This is what many organizations and sectors of our society miss in that part. They perform their assessment, they perform their pen testing in the start. Even if they add some sort of network resources, they actually don't care about or forget about performing continual security audit. This is something which is very important and should be done carefully. The last one, we have to simplify our technology infrastructure, not to make it more complex. It should be complex for the outsiders, the threat actors, but it should be very easy to manage and configure for our insider IT team and security staff in that part. So, respected attendees, this brings me to the end of my presentation. Now, I would like to take your questions in that part. Thank you very much. Any questions from your side?
Thank you very much for excellent presentation, Dr. Rajesh Yadav.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir, for extensive deliberation on cybersecurity threats and challenges. I hope the participants have gained a lot and will utilize this knowledge in their future endeavors. So if there are any questions, we'll just mail you, and I hope you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. The National Conference on Advancing Engineering Frontiers, Innovations, Challenges, and Solutions have received huge response from various reputed academic and research institutions across the nation. Papers have been selected on the basis of high quality and application by the review committee and have been shortlisted for publication, and abstracts have been compiled in the form of souvenir. May I now request all the dignitaries to join us for releasing the souvenir of the conference.
Can be shown in full screen.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for being the part of this inaugural session. Now we move on to the next part of the conference. We have another speaker who has joined with us. And with this, we come to the end of the inaugural session. The next speaker for the plenary session is Dr. Yash Chawla from Wrocław University of Science and Technology, Poland, who has found his calling in cultivating fresh ideas and inspiring transformative challenge. Dr. Yash Chawla is an assistant professor of marketing and innovation management and a member of Academia Ibidem at Wrocław University of Science and Technology, Poland. Rooted in a diverse Education background, Dr. Yash holds 5 academic degrees that encompass his multifaceted expertise. From a PhD with Distinction Award in Management and Quality Sciences to a Master's in Renewable Energy Technology, a Master's in International Business, a Bachelor in Computer Applications, a Bachelor in Mechanical Engineering. His thirst for knowledge has shaped his journey, intertwining seamlessly with his professional trajectory. With over 12 years of experience as an academician, trainer, and business consultant, Dr. Yash's reach extends across continents spanning Europe, the UK, South Asia, and the Middle East. He has been actively involved in collaborative projects and assignments with universities and businesses, a journey that has touched the lives of over 1 lakh students, educators, and professionals. A hallmark of Dr. Yash's contributions lies in his research published in prestigious journals. His exploration spans sustainable development, circular economy, innovation diffusion, social media dynamics, energy, markets and policies, business marketing, and consumer awareness and engagement. His research has found its home in respected publications such as Journal of Business Research with JCR of 11.3, International Journal of Consumer Studies with JCR of 9.9, Energy Policy with JCR Impact Factor of 9.0, Information Processing and Management with JCR of 8.6, Information Management, Telematics and Informatics, and Biomass and Bioenergy with JCR of 6.0. He extends his expertise as a reviewer for esteemed journals, including Energy Policy, International Journal of Consumer Studies, Telematics and Informatics, Information Processing and Management, Journal of Asian Public Policy. His role as an assistant editor at Operations Research and Decisions underscores his commitment to contributing to the scholarly discourse. Currently reading the Mosaic Project, which secured funding of about 413,000 from the National Science Center of Poland under the Sonata Grant Scheme. Recently, as a part of consortium of European University, he is also coordinating the activities of STEM for Humanities co-founded by European Union. Beyond academia, Dr. Yash actively consults for the industry, guiding R&D, communications, marketing strategy, product innovation, and sustainability. With a hand in 3 large-scale projects valued at a combined total of 25 billion euros, his impacts extend across both business and research realms. Now I request Dr. Yash to address the gathering. Please, sir.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me here. And thank you for the generous introduction, which I wrote through ChatGPT. Yeah, just kidding. Okay, so I will, today, I was looking at the various things that are being addressed around the world. And one of the things that we are currently working on is very much closely related with what students, researchers, teachers, and especially the businesses, they need to take into account. I don't mention the policymakers here because the way our infrastructure is designed, policy is always designed to be like behind the development of technology. So all the other stakeholders have to take responsibility and think about what's going to be next so that the policy can also move in the right direction. Okay, so I will just share my screen and I hope it's visible now. And I am clearly audible to everyone, I guess?
Yes, sir.
Okay, awesome, great. So today, the specific topic that I will discuss with you is about artificial intelligence. I guess there is no surprise there. Everybody's talking about artificial intelligence. But what people don't discuss about these days is the human perspective. Dr. Yadav briefly mentioned about how all of these technologies are going to affect our lives or are affecting our lives based on cybersecurity, his discussion on cybersecurity. But the problem about the impact on human life of the technology itself goes far beyond just discussing of what technology is directly impacting. So today today there are three key issues that my talk will encapsulate. The human and the tech evolution. We have to accept that humanity and technology both are evolving, but we also have to accept that humans are not evolving as fast as the technology. Then my focus will shift to AI, what the fuss about AI is. And at the end, there are some useful tips about whenever you're using any kind of AI tool, what are the things that you should consider? Okay, usually if everybody would be in person here, this would be like a very interesting thing to look at. But now it's just going to be me talking to the screen and also all of you. So I would like you to look at it in detail, with an open mind. If you see from the left-hand side, we have the era of the apes, so which we apparently evolved from. Then we became the human race, slowly developing weapons, and then we became with human race with the straight spine, and then came the cell phones. And then we started to be like this cool person looking at the cell phone with the hand in the pocket. Then it went to the computers as well, where we spend most of our time in front of the computer. So it kind of resembles how we are going back to the same human posture that we had when we had the times of the ape. So now the question arrives, what would be next? With the advent of AI and digital technologies, our dependence on digital technology is increasing so much. Do we want to go back to the Stone Age or even before that, where we fight for our survival with everything that is around us? Or do we just want the development of technology, especially the AI and robotics and other fields, to basically act our assistants while we can sit back, relax, and enjoy life just as we do in a movie theater with sipping Kool-Aid and eating popcorn while enjoying the entertainment? So if you compare the previous picture with the real life picture, you can see a close resemblance. This is an actual artwork that was placed in one of the European cities, and you could see that the depiction of evolution kind of going back to where it came from, like in form of a complete circle, is kind of ironical. And I hope that we don't go back in that direction, but currently we stand with the vector facing in that direction. This is Martin Cooper. So for all the technology enthusiasts out there, all the students. So Martin Cooper, last year we celebrated 50 years of mobile phones, although commercial mobile phones have been here for maybe half the time. But Martin Cooper he did an interview where he said he's devastated to see what mobile phone has done to humanity. So when a father of an invention says that he's devastated to see that what he created is kind of not so productive anymore, then that is something to think about. And this is a very interesting article that you could read. It is from last year, about just over a year ago, where he talks about a lot of things that are the consideration of which is very much required in today's technology development. So why has this become such an issue? Whenever we study, say since kindergarten to the point where we go to the universities, to the point we kind of do PhD and maybe start working in research or industry and so on, why has technology become an issue when it was never an issue, say 20 years ago? Maybe some of you are like very young and you were not here 20 years ago, or maybe you are not in a decision-making phase 20 years ago. But acceleration of technology is why this problem has happened. So if you look at the printing press in the 1400s, to the point of, say, AI in say 2030s, which we will have, let's say 100% diffusion of AI by 2030. The issue is about how fast these technologies are basically reaching to people. So Netflix, which was, say, not so far ago, 25 years ago, it required 3.5 years to reach 1 million users. Whereas if you look at ChatGPT, it took 5 days. It was in 2022. And if you look at Threads, which is like a spin-off from Instagram and or Meta, like Twitter, it took 1 hour. Now, if you look at these technologies, as I mentioned in the beginning of the presentation, the policy, the way in which our policy works, it is always going to be behind technology development or development of technology, is because you cannot create a policy in 1 hour, leave alone 5 days, 2.5 months. We cannot do that. To get a bill passed in any of the Senates in any part of the world, the quickest might be maybe a year, or some people, governments have to work for 2.5, 3 years to get something passed. At a university, like for instance, at our university, if we want to update the curriculum, it takes about 3 semesters to do it. So by the time something is updated, it is already outdated. So that's why individuals and businesses need to take more ownership of how the technological evolution is going to impact the human life. And why is it important to all of you to discuss, to ponder upon this, and to think about why this is important? Because you are the ones who are currently working either in research, or you are developing to be professionals, or you are professionals. So when you work with technology, when you work with business, when you work in society, your say or your contribution, not just in form of what you do, but in terms of what decisions you might make, whatever level it is, if from the level of like very basic as a team member in a huge company to say the president of the company, every decision makes a difference. Every philosophy of every single person makes a difference, because the previous technologies that we had in the Industrial Revolution, say 1, Industrial Revolution 2, and some part of Industrial Revolution 3, we had an impact on how we change ourselves physically. So with the invention of the steam engine or the industrialization, we basically stopped to do a lot of physical activities. So slowly and steadily, we will see that humanity or human beings do not have the same kind of strength as our previous generations had. But with digital technology, it also affects our psychology. And this is something that is really overlooked. Like if I want to create a pharmaceutical product, I might require to do 100 tests. I might require to do some experiment, prove the results, prove this, prove that. I need to do 100 kinds of paperwork. I need to spend so much money and all of that to introduce one pharmaceutical drug in the market. But if I decide that I know how the users can be engaged on a mobile application, I can today use AI to develop it in 1 day. Of course, planning takes more time, but let's say, let's get a best case scenario that you come up with a problem and you have the solution ready, and then you can design it using AI tools, and you can launch it within a day. And nobody will even ask you if you have a registered business, or nobody is going to ask you, oh, did you test? What is going to be the impact on the users? Are they going to go mentally crazy? Or what would be the impact on their day-to-day life, for example? So for all of you who were maybe living close in teens or maybe close to adulthood before the age of Facebook, you would probably know that there was a time when we had this thing that, oh, we have nothing to do. But today, I haven't heard for a long period of time that somebody saying, oh, I have nothing to do, because there is always scrolling of the newsfeed to do. So to a large degree, our society has been affected a lot in terms of decision making, in terms of attention span. So In 2014, the attention span of viewer, and in 2024, the attention span of viewers has decreased more than 10 times, or even more. Decision making has changed, so we have become so quick at making decisions, which is fueled by our practice of scrolling the news feed, looking at one content and deciding, oh, do I want to view this? No, I can go to the next content. So as soon as we start scrolling, we see that, okay, the decision making has changed, because it is like, oh, I have too many options. The same goes for relationship building. I was last year, I was in Chennai. Chennai is a very cultural city, and there are still very traditional ways in which people see relationship, like dating and how you, like, propose someone or meet someone. But there I saw like a 50 feet tall hoarding of Tinder, and it was like really shocked me. And then I was discussing with a group of students there at a university, and also a group of faculty members, and I was surprised to know that in an anonymous survey, more than 70% people actually use Tinder at various ages. And it was shocking for me, because coming from Gujarat, where we still have very traditional values as well, we kind of feel that these apps have changed the way people look at relationships. Oh, you don't agree with me? No problem. Let's break up. I will go swipe left and right, and I have a new partner. I mean, in Europe, it's even worse. And we can see the impact even more, because it has been around for quite a long period of time. And our memory. So if I ask you, how many mobile phone contacts do you have? Don't look at the phone. Just give an answer to yourself. How many contacts do you have? Number of contacts, not even the phone numbers. Like when we started using a mobile phone in 2007, we remembered all the numbers. We did not have to go to the phone book. We would just dial those numbers. But now, I bet most of you would not remember more than 5 to 10 numbers. Even 5 to 10 is a big number to say. So all of this is like a shift towards how we use technology and our dependence on technology, which kind of impacts how we grow, how we evolve. It's just like, we all know what Riyaz means when we are a singer. If the singer doesn't do riyaz or practice over and over again, they will lose the kind of sharpness that they have in the voice, or the level of quality that they have in the voice. So if we do riyaz of not remembering phone numbers, our mind would be like, okay, that's insignificant information. We don't need to put stress on that, and then we lose the ability of remembering things. And this brings us to understanding the society. So when you develop a solution, when you have an idea to change the world, yeah, or when you think about solving a problem through technology, you need to understand that there are mental and material part which builds the culture of the society. And this culture of the society is something that should be really understood while building a solution, because say you write something on Facebook today, you write it from the Indian context, but remember, somebody in Africa is also reading it. So when somebody in Africa is reading it, they are reading it with their thoughts, their ideas, their norms, their values, not with the Indian ideas, Indian thoughts, and Indian values. So they interpret information differently as compared to how Indians interpret information. And that is what causes a lot of discourse, which is not required, because we need to be able to understand each other's thoughts, ideas, information. Whereas if you push something in terms of clothes, it's always considered to be, oh, that's the difference. But when we consider the mental part of society, that's considered an argument. So that we have grown up in a society where we see different kind of material things, and we accept that different material things exist. But from the mental part, we still need to reach to the point where culture of the society needs to adapt to multiple thoughts, ideas, values, norms, beliefs, morals, etc. Recently, we did a research on human machine industry 5.0, how leaders in industry 5.0 should look like. And what we deduced is the next generation cannot just be technology. of course, it cannot be just human. We crossed that path very, very long way. So we closed like no entry to that path where only humans exist and there is no technology. The only situation where maybe there is no technology is that our sun decides to send such level of electromagnetic radiation that we go back into Stone Age. I mean, that is something that will maybe put an end, or not put an end, but slow down technology for quite some time, but still only human will probably not be the future. So human machine collaboration is something that we have to look at. And cyber physical systems, sustainability, how intelligent system works, or how circular economy or performance, and all of these are very key phrases that we need to look at when we develop technology for the next generation or for the times to come. And there are 6 main things out of that. I already mentioned sustainability. It has to be human-centric. So we cannot build solutions which say that technology is more supreme. Okay, technology is more supreme, but so are a lot of other things. Like, we are not the ones who are standing in winter, summer all the time. Houses are standing. Yeah, we are inside the houses. So when we built houses, we built it for the humans. But when we build digital technology, we are like, okay, replace the humans. So this is something that needs to change. We need to become more resilient. Smart additive manufacturing is one of the emerging sectors. Predictive maintenance is something that will come up, and it has been actually around for quite half a decade almost. In Europe, a lot of companies have already been using it, especially in Germany. And hyper customization or personalization is something that is also very much. So we recently submitted a paper, actually just yesterday. We submitted a paper which presents a framework of how tools like ChatGPT can actually be used to create like dynamic layout. So if you go to a website, the website will be tailored to what you like, not just a standard layout. So if you go to an e-commerce website and you see the products, it will not just be product recommendation, but it will be colors, it will be how it is presented, fonts, and everything can be changed based on your web activity. So that's hyper customization that can be done for every person visiting a web page, for instance. Again, if you were here, I would ask you what this is. It looks like beautiful smileys and with some cute ones, some crying ones. I hope all of you have used this before, but this is just to get your attention. So like, it's like about 6, 7 o'clock in the morning here. So but it's about 11 in India. So I hope that I don't have to grab your attention in terms of keeping you awake, but the importance of this slide lies in the orange line, or the curve, as we can say, and this is the hype cycle. So recently we had about 30 different academicians from different parts of Europe for an international week, and we were discussing this slide. Before this, we were discussing about what are the things that we should do. So like, okay, we should teach generative AI, we should discuss generative AI. But then I showed them this and they're like, okay, so generative AI has already peaked, peak of inflated in expectation. So the only way to go forward is down. And that they were a bit surprised at this, because that's actually true. In the next 5 to 10 years, you will see that the generative AI itself might go a bit down in terms of the peak because of the disillusionment, but we will see new technologies come in. Like, for instance, if you have not seen it, I would encourage you to just search on Google something called Figure AI plus ChatGPT, and you will see that how an interaction with a robot can be such easy way of asking a robot to do something, and they can interpret it with using a large language model. So that is something that is going to happen soon. So when you're thinking about career, when you're thinking about research, when you're thinking about developing technology, what you need to do is prepare for the future. Not what is trending right now. I mean, what is trending right now might not trend tomorrow, but what is more important, or what is really important to see, is what will happen in the next few years. And this is what brings me to the to this slide, again from Gartner. So we have this kind of next 12 months and next 36 months. Probably these are the time when if you are students, you might be going to the job market. If you're researchers, you might be thinking about future impact research. But these are topics which you should definitely look at. And risking rising buyer pessimism is one of the things which is fueled by cybersecurity and other issues, which Dr. Yadav was previously mentioning. Very, very important things. And industry cloud delivers the growth of industry cloud or new enterprise IT. And all of this, if you see the trend, more and more technology is just like going towards IT. Everybody is talking about IT tools, but we still forget the farmers are still growing food that we eat. We don't eat IT products. We still need all of these technologies to evolve in the direction where we would like to be having things that we need. Yeah, but in some way it has become more like, oh, what does the economy require? Oh, what does the profitability require? We also did a cost benefit analysis recently of waste management. So we saw a project in Poland, and we saw how they process and produce biogas. And I was surprised to see that there is so much talk about biogas production, the technology of biogas production, and it is actually such a simple process to do, which we learned when we were in school. So we need to think about technology and development of technology to facilitate multimodal opportunities or multimodal requirements that the humans have. So these are some things that should be considered while developing new technology. And just to have some fun, I asked ChatGPT because there was a discussion, there has been a huge discussion on, do humans actually understand AI? Because honestly, there is currently no tool that at least I know of, which can, if somebody writes a text with ChatGPT or some LLM, currently there is no tool that can, with say 50% probability, say that this is AI written or not. Even OpenAI, they built a classifier. It was online for a few months, where they predicted by 27% accuracy if something was done by AI. And they took it down then because it was pointless. So I asked ChatGPT, do humans understand AI? And if you look at this answer, it's such a wonderful answer, like a diplomatic answer. Remember that time when you were sitting in a Viva and the teacher asks a question which you have no clue about, but you are required to speak. So you kind of go around and around and around and beat around the bush. So you see the AI is doing exactly that. So this shows that even AI understands that humans don't understand AI. So there is a push for creating explainable AI. That's why I really like Gemini, Google's Gemini, as compared to OpenAI's ChatGPT, because if you interact with Gemini, what it does is it gives you consideration. So if you ask it to revise a text, for example, then what it does is it tells you, okay, I considered 1, 2, 3, 4 different points, and based on these points, I revised the text. So what happens there is like you understand what is the rationale of the output. But currently, like with tools like ChatGPT, there is like you give an input, there is a black box in between, and there is an output. Whatever happens within the black box is only ChatGPT knows, not even OpenAI knows, right? So we don't want a situation where we don't know why something is happening. Yeah, if the car is going straight, we know all 4 wheels are pointing in the straight direction, right? If the car is going to the left, we know that something is wrong. But if the car is going to the left all the time, then there is something, and we cannot explain it, then that is a problem for us. But in the tech world, if something is happening and we cannot understand it, don't touch it. You know, it's happening, let it happen. But this is something that needs to change. This is something that really affects how our evolution works. And honestly, Rishi Sunak gave a speech last year in October, which was the first time where a world leader came on paper or say in public and said that, oh, maybe AI is not safe. finally, somebody said, but there has been a lot of talk about it, and over 1,100 signatories, including Elon Musk and this kind of level of people, they basically said that we should pause AI development until we actually understand and we have robust laws about it, which we still don't have. AI Act of Europe is, say, one of the most comprehensive things. If you have not seen it, it's worth reading if you really want to get into technology development. And of course, if the UK does it, UK has also established an AI Safety Institute. It also offers a lot of collaboration opportunities for people who are interested in doing AI research, because they will be doing these global collaborations under the AI Safety Institution. So this is also something where there will be a lot of opportunities for research. Maybe they would probably launch some courses as well. So this is something to keep track of if you would interested in this field. And the US also, like just a week after UK, they also gave an executive order about this. But frankly, there has been just talks. There has been just, okay, we should do this, we should do this, oh, you should be safe. But to act upon it is even more important. And universities are actually very, very having a very key responsibility here, because if you see this graph from Boston Consulting Group about deep tech is something that you take original research to solve a problem. Let's say keep it simple like that. And if you see here, the knowledge and the technical knowledge and expertise that is required to go in that direction of deep tech, or for deep tech startups, in this particular case, almost 40% of the whole ecosystem for knowledge depends on universities. So curriculums at the university, adaptive workshops, and research, these are still contributing to 40% of the technological development, which is almost like 40% is almost 50%. And this will be growing as well in the future. And also, if you look at number 6, the talent acquisition is mostly also around 30%. So this is like a huge chunk of what is happening in deep tech coming from the universities. Of course, the basis of all of these things is universities, but still these are the primary shareholders of the deep tech startups. So we all are in a very key situation for going ahead in technological development. So if you are using AI, what you should not do? First, don't treat it as a threat. AI is here. It never works to say that we will ban something. Calculators were launched. Mathematicians went on strike. Nobody cared. Mathematicians came back, started working. Computers was launched. Bankers went on strike. Nobody cared. Bankers came back to work. Now people are protesting for AI. Nobody cares. Everybody will come use AI, and they are starting. So don't treat it as a dystopian threat or a magic solution. The second thing is, don't let AI undermine our values. Human values are what makes us human. Human philosophy is what makes us human. One of the biggest problems that research is facing today is that the research students, the new generation of research students, they do not study philosophy. And guess what? The full form, or the abbreviation PhD, stands for not research, Doctorate of Philosophy. If you don't have philosophy, then you can't do good research. So there was a movement saying, bring the philosophy back to Doctorate of Philosophy. This is something that is a big problem in academia, which everybody is trying to sort it out, and hopefully we will sort it out. So we need AI, but we will use AI, but we cannot let it undermine our ethical principles, human rights, and social responsibilities. If you're using AI, don't source critical thinking through it. Critical thinking should remain with you. What does critical thinking mean? using all of the information, asking questions to AI might give you the information, but don't depend on decisions taken by AI. Take your decisions. Take all the information you want from the books, from search engines, from AI, but don't let the decision-making and critical thinking depend on AI. And don't ask it for information, because right now these LLMs are not meant to give you information. They are just your assistants. If you want somebody to rewrite your essay, they can do it. But if you want somebody to write your essay, then they are not worth it. Isolating yourself with AI can be very dangerous. Like I know a couple of people who have done this, and they are now seeing psychologists because it does impact you. You can feel when you're talking with ChatGPT, you're like, am I even required? It knows everything. When I'm talking about Gemini, oh, it knows everything. Am I even required as a researcher? What's next? So this kind of isolating yourself with AI might have these kind of thoughts. The power of human connection cannot be underscored. It can never. I mean, this is, there was a study in the US during the pandemic that will an online education replace the conventional education? And the answer was no. Conventional education is still required, because it is not just about getting education. It's about learning how to be next to each other, talking to each other face to face, shaking hands. Imagine you have never been in front of anyone for 6 months, and then if you have to shake somebody's hand, you wouldn't even know, should I offer my hand or no? Oh, maybe I should offer my hand. We see in the movies sometimes the actors, they kind of practice in front of the mirror of how they are going to say hi to the media. Yeah, so these are things that we need to understand and we need to act on. Data privacy is very important, and I cannot stress enough on it. I mean, Dr. Yadav has already talked a lot about cybersecurity, so all of that is very, very important and should be definitely taken care of. And what you should do, first of all, configure your privacy right. So if you're using tools like ChatGPT, Gemini, or any other AI tools, remember that each of these tools uses your information to train their AI models. But, you can tell them not to. There is a very easy way to go into the settings, to go to data, and ask them, please don't track my information. I don't want you to use my information, and they will not use your information. Embrace the growth mindset. So take what you can do with AI, but not in a way that it can replace you, but in a way that if you were doing one thing, maybe you are able to do 5 things. You are able to do 5 things. Not that AI is able to do 5 things and you are just sipping your coffee or tea and say, I have AI. So yes, tomorrow your employer will understand that there is AI, and then they will say, ta-da, because AI is cheaper than you. Yeah. So embrace a growth mindset. Don't let AI replace you, but use AI as a tool. Just like if I have to fly down to India from Poland, I will not walk there. I will take an airplane. So that's the growth mindset. But if I want to say that no, airplanes cannot replace me, I will walk to India. So it would take me approximately, I think, a few years or maybe a few months if I'm still alive after swimming all the way near the Gulf of something. The third thing is understand technology and its evolution. Understand its impact on you. Do the basics right. Learn your tables. Like, if I ask you what is 25 multiplied by 25, how many of you can just do it like this? Because we used to learn this, like 25 multiplied by 25 is 625. If I'm still right, yes, I'm right. So I still remember. So do this, because AI can do this, calculators can do this, but we should be able to do this, the basics. So understand the evolution of technology and how it impacts you. Embrace AI as a tool for augmentation, like make minor tweaks, make something more beautiful, make something more attractive using that, but don't create everything using AI. Then hyper-personalization. Yes, we don't have the capability of, if I had an AI tool, so if I speak in English and everybody hears in their own language of preference, That's hyper customization. You want AI to do that, but you don't want AI to give a speech. It's like, here is the PowerPoint. Oh, no, wait. No, you say, I want to give a talk on artificial intelligence and human perspective. Can you create a presentation? So AI gives you the presentation. Then you can use a tool, say, can you add a voiceover to this presentation? Okay. Then you tell, can you create it into a video? Okay. And then as soon as you join the meeting, you play the video. So the AI created the presentation, AI created the voiceover, AI created the video, and what people are seeing is just AI. So don't do that. That's not hyper customization. That's like content creation through AI. Use it for hyper customization. Focus on skills that AI cannot replicate. Can AI grow food? At least not now. Yeah, it's my dream that one day I will retire and I will go back to farming. I mean, when I say go back to farming is like learn farming, because at the moment I cannot, how you should say, safely grow one plant inside the house. But my dream is that I can do farming one day. So there are a lot of other skills that AI cannot replicate, and focus on those skills. If you ask me what are those skills today, it might be a very difficult answer because you don't know what AI can do tomorrow. So it's very important to keep yourself up to date. Look at reports that I was showing you from Gartner, for example. Look at what is required in the next 36 months, projection of how technologies will develop. Just reading books, just following university curriculum, just doing professional development, what the university says or your employer says, is not going to cut it out anymore. Skill development is not happening in a group. It happens at individual level now. So you have to be up to date yourself, not dependent on third party, including AI. So these are things that brings me to the memes. I really like memes. So as Master Yoda said, control tech or tech controls you. Which one do you want? Let's control the track. Let technology be our Alfred, not our Batman. You can be Batman or Batwoman or Catwoman, and let Alfred be your assistant, like AI as your assistant. And as I will end my talk by saying what Charles Darwin said. So most people think about what Charles Darwin said is survival of the fittest. So if you just go by survival of the fittest, AI will survive and humans not. But if you see what Charles Darwin actually said, it was not the strongest of species that will survive, nor the most intelligent, but the one which is most adaptable to change. And humans can change, but they need to be open-minded to change. And this is why we need these 4 skills in 21st century. We need critical thinking. We need collaboration. The human contact is very, very important. Human-machine collaboration is also important, because if you're not doing that, you will miss out. Creativity. If I ask you what is the opposite of white, you might say black. But what is the opposite of, say, yellow? Or what is the opposite of, say, purple? When you ask questions differently, you get answers differently. It gives you the freedom to be creative, thinking out of the box. And everything in AI is the box, remember, because AI is trained on current knowledge. So it is the box. Everything that you get out of it is from the box. What you can do with it is out of the box. Communication is important. Learn to communicate. If you imagine what these large language models or currently the AI are, it is just words. So this whole fuss about AI is just from a bunch of text. So everything that is happening with AI is just happening because of a bunch of text. So you need to be able to communicate. If you cannot communicate, you cannot do anything. And remember, small actions today will lead to giant reflections tomorrow. So if you have these considerations today, practice about it, think about it. So when you go out in the world, or if you are in the world and you do something big tomorrow, then you will remember all of these small actions and thoughts that you had every day will kind of make a bigger impact than your people who are around you. So this is something that I will like to leave you with. So thank you for listening to me. And I hope you don't look like this. I cannot see you, so I cannot say. So I just assume that this is how the audience looks like after listening to people for 1 hour, but hopefully not. So if you have any questions, feel free to write to me. You can scan this QR code if you want to join with me on LinkedIn. Yashchawla.com is my official homepage. You have my email. So if you have any questions, you can shoot it through the organizers or write me an email directly or write me a message on LinkedIn. And I hope that I was able to instigate, or not instigate, it would be a negative word, maybe like give you some thoughts to think about, and you can take back it with yourself. I have shared these presentations with the conference organizers. Please feel free to share it with the participants. So I hope it will be useful. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Yash, for such an enlightening and stimulating session. I'm sure the participants will take these contemporary topics which we have discussed in their future endeavors. With this, we come to the end of the session. Thank you everyone for being with us. All the participants are requested to join their respective tracks for paper presentation. The next plenary session will begin at 1:15 p.m. and all are requested to join at 1:15 p.m. sharp. Thank you everyone. All participants to join their respective tracks for presentation. Have a good day, everyone. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Display kar rahe hain.
Thank you.
Puneet ji, you can close this. Puneet ji, you can.
Ma'am, एक बार book
Just a minute, Puneet ji.
Just a minute.
Yes.
बैकग्राउंड में अपनी बुक दिख थोड़ी रही है.
हाँ, ये इशू था इसका. एक मिनट वेट करें. इसमें क्या करते हैं, बेहतर ये है कि हम जो है ना बैकग्राउंड अपना हटा दें, क्योंकि शायद बैकग्राउंड की वजह से है ना, आई सपोज
This is not visible. Mine is visible. Is mine visible? Fine. No, it look अच्छी लग रही है. Let's take picture. We are
राजीव सर साइड में करो ऐसे. राजीव सर साइड में करो ऐसे. हाँ सर, एक मिनट, वो मैम का डिस्प्ले ऑन चेंज करा दूं. एक मिनट. हाँ.
let's take. Everybody say cheese.
सर एक मिनट, सिस्टम मेरा बहुत स्लो रिस्पॉन्ड कर रहा है.
मैडम बैकग्राउंड चेंज करिए.
सर सिस्टम रिस्पॉन्ड नहीं कर रहा. मैं तो कब से
सर 2 मिनट रुक जाइए. 2 मिनट, उनका सिस्टम सही कर दे रहा हूँ, फिर उसके बाद कर रहे हैं. 2 मिनट होल्ड करिए.
या चूज वर्चुअल बैकग्राउंड.
मैम रिंकू में थोड़ा ऊपर लीजिए इसको, साइड में.
एक मिनट, वर्चुअल बैकग्राउंड
नहीं है
ऐसे साइड.
सर मेरा सिस्टम ना बहुत पुअर रिस्पॉन्ड कर रहा है, बहुत स्लो, इसलिए वो.
चलिए, but it is visible. I think it's done now. One more thing are done. चलिए मैम, let's leave now because we have session.
Okay, done. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, then. Okay, bye bye. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
We'll
you,
see
sir.
everyone at 1:15. 1:15.
Okay, thank you.
1 o'clock.
Good afternoon, one and all. I once again welcome you to National Conference on Advancing Engineering Frontiers, Innovations, Challenges and Solutions, organized by Amity School of Engineering and Technology, Amity University, Madhya Pradesh. Now it's a time for next plenary talk. We have with us Professor Balmurugan Balaswamy for this session. Professor Balmurugan Balaswamy is currently working as Associate Dean Student Engagement in Shiv Nadar Institution of Eminence, Delhi, NCR. Stanford University has recently released an update of the list that represents the top 2% of the most cited scientists in various disciplines. He is part of the top 2 scientists worldwide 2023 by Stanford University in the area of data science, AI, and ML. He is also an adjunct professor, Department of Computer Science and Information Engineering, Taylor University, Malaysia. Prior to this assignment, he was Professor, School of Computing Sciences and Engineering and Director, International Relations at Galgotias University, Greater Noida. His contributions focus on engineering education, blockchain, and data science. He does have 200 plus he has done more than 200 edited and authored books and collaborated with eminent professors across the world from top QS rank universities. Professor Balaswamy has served up to the position of associate professor in his stint of 15 years of experience with VIT University Vellore. His passion is teaching and adapts different design thinking principles while delivering his lectures. He has published more than 80 books on various technologies and visited 15 countries and more for his technical course. He has served top-notch. He has several top-notch conferences in his resume and has published over 200 of quality journal conference and book chapters combined. He serves as the expert advisory panel member for several startups and forums and does consultancy work for industry and on industrial IoT. He has given over 200 talks in various events and symposiums. He has traveled more than 15 countries for his academic and research assignments and talks. May I now request Professor Balmurugan to kindly deliver his talk. Please, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your kind words. I just thank each one of you for conducting this national conference. I also thank Dr. Raghavendra Sharma sir, Rinku Bhatia ma'am, Dr. Anuj sir, Dr. Hemant sir, and special thanks to my great friend Dr. Daniel for just calling me in. And when people are conducting a lot of international conference where publication is happening and all that stuff, you are conducting national conference, it's very good, because what I feel is there are not many conferences where discussion happens. People are only oriented towards publication and they just want where it goes, but there is not much of healthy discussion. So I can see this kind of national conference will make sure students will discuss irrespective of the challenge where it's going to go. So it's a great thing. As usual, Amity is doing great job. So let me go into the topic, and I'm sharing my screen. So I hope this session, though it is a small session, will be an eye opener of for people who are doing research, especially in deep learning. So I'm just going to give a brief for 15 to 20 minutes on deep learning techniques in healthcare AI. I'm going to emphasize especially on one factor because I have to make sense within the particular time. I'm going to emphasize more on uncertainty over deep learning in healthcare, which is an advanced topic. Not many researchers are doing this research in it. So basically, what is the difference between AI and ML and deep learning? Everybody knows it, but in case for beginners or people who already know, they can rewrite it. So artificial intelligence is something that can be used for prediction, for association, for classification, for clustering, or anything to do with that of data. So we can see there is a great avalanche of data happening in the world. And without this artificial intelligence, we will not be able to take any decision making. So if you want to go for any decision making in any domains, it can be retail, it can be finance, it can be education, technology, it can be anything. You have to make use of artificial intelligence based techniques in order to get it forward. So what is the difference between artificial intelligence and deep learning? So if you have an apple, if you have an orange, you want to find out which one is apple, which one is orange. Any human being can find out. But if you want a machine to find out, so you just take an apple in front of the camera and it says it's an apple or it's an orange. It's a simple thing because it has a different color. It also has variation in the shape and size and all that stuff. So we can train the data into our AI algorithm and say that, see, if this is of red in color or red plus black in color, this is of this apple. And if it is an orange in color, this is orange. So we can train them easily by means of a small data set, or it can be a data set based on images, or it can be data set based on any other signals, and we can train it. So machine learning algorithm doesn't have much of training. It uses only a small bit of training and understand by means of any of these inputs. So then it distinguishes this is apple, this is orange. But when I go for deep learning algorithm, it means the training has to be given in a varied way. It has to be given in a deep way. It does means if I asking the algorithm to find out what kind of apple is this, whether this is an apple that has been grown up in Kashmir or it's an apple that has been from Washington, or there are more than 10,000 types of apples around the world, across the world, and each of it has its own flavor, it has its own shape, size, variations, and it has its own attributes. So when we want our algorithm to find something deep, then we will go for deep learning algorithm. So I have written in the topic, like we are going to have a special focus on uncertainty our deep learning. So what do you mean by uncertainty our deep learning? Means all the algorithm we are using it are sometimes biased in many things. Okay, because most of the algorithms have been done, especially in Northern America or in a Western country. So it doesn't have any influence on people to a vast effort, but the data set that has been used by them for training also takes the possibility of doing any wrongful decision. But since we are using the deep learning for healthcare, even a small wrong decision can lead to catastrophic effect. So we are adding into our artificial intelligence and deep learning a factor called explainability. So now we have something called explainable AI. So people, like nowadays, they don't say the word artificial intelligence because there are a lot of criticization on artificial intelligence by media as well as from other domains. Like if we can take domains like social sciences and other, like we are working now, all our research are in stream from STEM. You know what is STEM? That is science, technology, engineering, and management. Now they have made it into stream. It means science, technology, engineering, arts, and management. It means all the domain are combined together. We can't take our technology separately and work on a particular domain. So here the factor of explainability has come. It does mean I have done a project, it got published in a 9 impact factor journal, and we took a genuine problem that is happening in United States. So what is the problem? When you are in United States or in any Western developed country, so when you are applying loan, you need not to go to a manager and sit and talk to him, and he does ask about your asset, your monthly income, yearly income, where you are working, whether you are stabilized in life. Then he gives loan. That happens in developing country like South Asian countries. But in abroad, we will never be able to hit a manager unless it is very much necessary. So there will be online system. You will be feeding all your data. So the algorithm takes decision whether Professor Bala can be given a loan or not, whether Professor Daniel can be given how much amount of loan, whether he can be given 10 lakh amount of loan or 20 lakh amount of loan. So what happens is many people of certain sex or some people, they are not given loans because the history of loan defaulters are more in their part of the country. For example, take Arizona. Arizona people may not be paying the loan, but it will be influencing other people who are migrated to Arizona. So what happens? People are working towards something called explainability in AI, which will show the algorithm. If somebody is not given a loan, it will give an explanation why they were denied giving a loan, and they'll be having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 reasons. So people will not just blindly believe it, because most of the algorithm are black box algorithm. So, but now we are converting that black box algorithm into white box algorithm. Means people who are not knowing coding or phobic to system, or who are users of the system, or any stakeholders who are using the system, will also be knowing about the system. So this gives a kind of freedom, and the artificial intelligence ethics is maintained, because if you see, the whole world is on AI ethics. So there have been heavily debating topics on AI ethics, that like after that ChatGPT and Open AI has come and newer versions have come, people are even afraid about the privacy, because the training data are taken from private data of people. So for example, if you take ChatGPT, how it does learn? It learns data from CCTV. So it can be breaching the privacy of some people. It learns from logs. It learns from train tickets. It learns from logs of flight repository, flight tickets. It learns from log of maybe a social security number. It keeps on learning. So whatever data set they can hold, they purchase it and push it inside ChatGPT so that it can learn and it'll be able to answer any of the things. So the explainability in healthcare is very, very important topic. So what do you mean by explainability in healthcare? Now let's come to the topic where the medicality, legality, and ethicality and social questions are there. So if somebody is having using explainability of artificial intelligence in healthcare, so what is that they'll be doing is, so it will show if it has found out a tumor, it will show how the tumor was found. So whether the tumor is curable or not curable. So it will be like purely explaining you so that all these questions will be answered. Plus, none of the artificial intelligence will say the answer that it doesn't know. So which is the biggest problem with artificial intelligence. So this explainability in healthcare will be giving the artificial intelligence the privilege to say no. So when a system can say no, it means it's a very matured system. For example, if you're showing a skin image and you are asking the system, whether the skin in the photo given to you is having cancer or not. Okay, so most of the system will say, yeah, it is having cancer, or it is going to have cancer, it's going to predict it to have cancer, or it might have cancer, or percentage of cancer is 2% like that, but it will never show, I do not know. So we are giving the privilege by means of explainable AI that it can even say no, like a human being. So that gives a kind of advancement into whatever we are doing. So for this, it is not very easy. Like I am giving an example. When questioning the clinician, okay, so like when you are questioning clinicians and developer and who are working in a neuro intensive care unit, it's a you know about ICU. Everybody knows about ICU, but not many of us know about neuro intensive care unit, which is like when some brain surgery is done or something on neurology is done. In that ICU, it's something very complicated. Okay, so even we are using like systems to take decisions for that. Okay, so it can't be just taking decisions on your own. It's a decision support system, which does mean that decision support system gives some decision to human being who, in case like what they'll be doing is they'll be like who in case will be like help using the inputs from the system and they'll be taking decisions. So this can be used here. So let me give a small like introduction to what is AI in healthcare. Everybody knows about it. So like there are also many other AI coming up. It's just not a jargon, but it has been really used and it has been coded. So for example, perceptual AI is coming up. So this kind of understands from your stem cells what kind of disease you might be getting in future. Okay, got it. So stem cell research is going on very well, and especially medical research is going on, building up very well, so that people when they are young, by testing the stem cells, we can find out what kind of diseases they may get by means of their hierarchy from their father or from their parents, what kind of diseases they'll be getting from the gene lineage. So like we can intervene and we'll be treating that before it comes. Okay, so already people have a kind of intention that they might be getting, if they are from one part of India, they are prone to get one kind of disease like that. Okay, so we have perceptual AI, we have intervention AI. Like intervention AI is something that will be dealing more on diagnosis. So in healthcare, if you say like there is a word they will be saying is that once you can diagnose a disease, almost 50% of the disease is cured. It means like most of the time, the person is not really identified of the disease, what he or she is having. So the deep learning and explainability in healthcare is helping the doctors to do so. For example, if somebody is going for a headache, so there may not be problem with the head. It may be problem with the digestion, which would have caused headache. But normally, unless the doctor is trained, if the doctor is trained for 20 years, then he or she will be able to do so. But with normal textbook, it's going to be very challenging for the doctors to do so. So only we always prefer experienced doctor. But after the advent of deep learning, what will happen is the system is the one who is going to learn. Doctor is going to use the decision made by the system and going to support the decision. So it's a decision support system. So this kind of intervention has made the black box health industry into white box. So people will know why the system is taking this kind of like decision. And there was a factor of lack of confidence and trust on artificial intelligence, which has been removed. And we feel that slowly in 3 to 4 years, artificial intelligence can be believed more than a human being. The same explainability is also used not only in healthcare, but the same explainability in deep learning is very widely used in autonomous vehicle. So you can see when you are traveling to even UAE, our neighboring countries, or in Asia, you can see already like Tesla has given lot of self-driving car, if not complete self-driving car, almost when there is not much of traffic, when there are disciplined traffic in the road, we can even drive Tesla hands-free. Even I have seen it. It has such a very good moderation of the traffic. So here, when it takes left turn, it explains to the driver why it is taking left turn, why it is taking right turn. So it makes sense. We need not to believe the system like completely about the output, but we can also understand how the system is work. And moreover, explainable AI makes the system learn every second from each of the new inputs that has been given, and it will be finding out the suitable strategy that is needed for the contest and the moment. So the main thing about any decision making, even if it is done by machine or human being, is fairness. For example, if somebody is a vice chancellor or a dean, if somebody comes to them for any query, if they answer the question fairly, then they will be like most respected and they will be taken into a higher order. Same like the systems always faces challenges in taking decisions. And artificial intelligence system, especially explainable artificial intelligence, are very like prone to make decisions every second and sometimes every nanosecond. So they should be able to like take decision within a very short span of time, and they have to not compromise with the fairness of the decision making. Okay, so you are feeding the data of students to an artificial intelligence system and you are asking, please choose the like brightest student or please choose the student of the year. Then the system should be doing it fairly. Then only people will be understanding it. So when a human being is taking decisions, he will be considering a lot of psychological factors also, other than the data, numerical data. So the system also should be able to like understand other non like deterministic data points, which is very hard to find out. So it can be image data, it can be a voice data, it can be other data. So it can be a test data, but it has to be converted into something that is tangible and decision has to be taken out of it. So people are working towards it. It's going to take some time, but almost if you take the top 500 Fortune company, almost 40 to 50 companies are AI based. So this 40 to 50 companies are investing billions of dollars on artificial intelligence. It's not millions, billions of dollars on artificial intelligence. Almost every month they are pumping money inside this 40 to 50 company. And this 40 to 50 companies are buying all the small startup companies which are working on explainable AI. So it means that every hour, every second around the globe, lot of innovations are happening in improving the artificial intelligence status to a higher level. So you can see like it will be a stage maybe in 7 to 10 years, artificial intelligence will not take any decisions which is wrong. So there will be proper explanation. The results will be explained how why it is correct and why it is like taken. There will not be any compromise in the fairness of the decision taken. So like you can see like if any decision is misinterpreted, imagine like you have surgeries happening and just doctors are looking at the screen and taking this. Okay, so even when they can't see the small tumor in the brain through their naked eyes, what they can do is they can see from the camera that is fitted on the brain and how much they should move the finger, whether they have to move 5 millimeter to this cell and touch it. So this also are set by systems. If the system says even 1 millimeter wrong, there will be a lot of trouble in doing the surgery. I can say you an example. One of my friend, colleague in VIT Vellore, like he met up with an accident. So it was a brain accident. He was wearing helmet. Still, the effect was so much that it hit inside his helmet. Helmet broke, and he got he got a hurt in his brain. So he went to the doctor. So they did a surgery for him. But that time there was not much of advent of artificial intelligence or deep learning you for healthcare. So it was 2001, somewhere around that time. So they did a surgery. He became well. He was alive. But what happened? They forgetfully touched upon some other neurons in his brain. So that the problem is he couldn't smell anything. After the surgery was success, but he lost the sense of smell. So wherever he is, if there is a perfume nearby him, or even if there is a bad foul smell around him, he can't really smell. So he'll be stable. At the same time, he was saying like, Bala, I was very lucky that if they would have touched some other neuron, which is for taste, then my taste would have gone. Means whatever he eats, even ice cream or anything spicy, he will not be knowing it. So for example, if he takes 150 grams of chili powder and eat, nothing will happen, because the brain is the one that says this is chili powder, don't eat too much, only eat only less, otherwise you will have trouble in your stomach. So like that is happening. But after the explainability in healthcare has come, the performance has increased and a lot of compliance has been happening. Not many people will know that how advanced our life has been after this explainability factor has come in healthcare. So like what can't be cured, for example, the life expectancy of Indians like in 1947 was 20 to 25%. Now the life expectancy has gone up to 67 age to 70 age. Okay, so like we are working on certain things so that we will not get any dangerous results, or there will not be any problem with opaque nature of artificial intelligence. So like we need not to use any biased input or any biased output, even if the system is feeded with not bigger quality of data, the results are also dependent upon the quality of data. So if you feed a bad data into a artificial intelligence explainable system, the outcome what you will be getting will also be bad. Okay, it's all about the input that is given to the system. So we have to make sure like we should not provide insufficient data, we should not provide biased data, we should not provide data that is not cleansed. Okay, so we should be making sure all the data generated. For example, if you take a data set like Kaggle, it has a lot of fake data set also, because every day hundreds and thousands of people are uploading data. Like how you have an Android app applications, like where anybody can upload any kind of applications. So the quality is not being filtered. Same like that data set, whatever you are saying is also biased. So we have to make sure whether the data set what we are using for our explainable AI research should be filtered, and it should be taken from only authenticated people from the data set. It can be a Kaggle data set, or it can be UC Berkeley data set. We have to make sure we take and use only this kind of input, not any misjudged one. So that has to be, because whenever somebody is working on artificial intelligence, especially in healthcare, they are not just doing research for doing publications. So all the algorithm when we are uploading, there is a possibility it can be used. There is a likelihood of possibility that can be used on patients, or it can be used in a hospital, and the consequence will be a bet on person's life. So we have to obey the rules of explainable AI. So one is explanation. We have to say that what will be the consequence. So what is the reason for each of the decisions? Okay, for example, if a patient is coming, you are asking a question to artificial intelligence, whether this patient should be admitted in hospital or he can be treated and gone home. So this is a bigger question. So this also connects with the availability of bed, the amount the person has to spend, or the emergency-ness of it. So many things are there. So how this kind of major questions are broken and been answered by artificial intelligence. So second thing, like we also have to understand what kind of algorithm we are using. So most of us, we know we just go for some traditional algorithm, but as a computer scientist, we have to make sure we have to build from our traditional algorithm something which is very matured. Okay, so like We have talked about how opaque AI is going to provide like output without reason, and how explainability is going to take these challenges out. So there are a lot of challenges that are happening. Professor Daniel, how long I have, how many minutes I have, sir? I can't hear
Sir,
you.
enough, sir. 20 minutes, sir.
Okay, sir. I will just
Sir,
finish.
20 minutes.
10 minutes more. bol do na.
Sir, 5 minutes more. 5 minutes more.
Okay, okay. Thank you, sir. Okay, so see, like there are a lot of challenges which we are working, and we are trying to always planning to remove these challenges. Okay, the main thing is, so every country has its own AI policy. Every country has its own ethical policies. What is right in some country is wrong in another country. We also, as usual, have a global policy also. For example, if you are making a system, if you want to sell in India, if it is not possible, people are selling it in US. It is possible because certain biasness is there in geographical locations also. Okay, but people are coming together, especially computer scientists are coming together, and they are working towards it. And there are a lot of regulatory standards that are there. And even I urge faculties and professors of Amity University to be part of the regulatory standards of AI. I can invite you. We are also part of some AI ethical forum, Shivnadar University, where we usually, the meeting happens every 3 months. So we can go and say that, see, we have to have this kind of transparency. This bias is found in the system. This system application is not good. Like it is not just a whistleblowing thing, but we have to come out with trust and confidence in whatever work we do. So that is one thing. And what are the benefits, once you use a system and you feel like the system is having good predictability factor, it means it is very consistent in its decision making, then only you'll be using it. Imagine like you have a autonomous car, sometime it works well, another day it doesn't work well, it's not going to be used. Am I right? We need consistency of, it's like people. For example, I have a friend, if I keep on believing him, I will believe him till he take a wrong decision for me. Okay, so once he take a wrong decisions for me, I will be very alert with him, and I will not be completely believing him. Similarly, system also like that. So we will, unless the system is transparent, we will not be believing it. And we should be having a fidelity, which means it should say why it is taking this, what is the correct explanation for that. And it should not be something like that can be used only for a particular domain, healthcare. It should be used for many things. The same algorithm has to be re-engineered or reused for healthcare, retail, or anything, whatever you say. And good thing is, we talked about this, you should not confuse the user. It should be consistent, and it should be very domain independent. It should be reasonable. See, there are systems, but it's very expensive, because artificial intelligence systems are very expensive, because when you want to train a data, you have to first get a GPU. When you get a GPU from NVIDIA, you imagine if you're getting an Amity, Noida has a GPU lab, which cost almost 2 crore rupees. Okay, we have used it also. Okay, it means like 50 systems is 2 crore rupees. So when you want to train enormous amount of data, you have to pay so much of money for it. You have to make use of high performance computing. You have to get the data, which is again proprietary. The top companies are the owners of the data. When you want to train from the data, so you can see how open AI is having tie-up with Tesla, because Tesla is having a lot of data. Open ChatGPT needs data, so the tie-up happens. Okay, so all the car data, autonomous car that has been collected every second will be with Tesla, so they tie up with it. Why Microsoft is tying with OpenGI? Microsoft is having data for almost 30 years. People data, psychological data, user data, log data, school data, university data. They have so who is having more data, or the richest person on this earth? And all our explainable AI system is data hungry applications. It means they want more data, more they learn, more they become mature. So their outcome will be more reason oriented. So, and it should be traceable. So I'm with this, I'm coming to the end of my lecture. What I'm trying to say to people is, work on artificial intelligence. Don't just use artificial intelligence applications. Make sure you develop artificial intelligence systems as student projects. there are very easy way to develop small project. You not to think about very big deep learning project, but small project which can be helping to enhance our like classroom timetabling, or which can be used for enabling our selfie taking skill, or how to connect to Zoom very easily by means of AI, just by showing your face. Like that, we have to work on smaller applications. So that will enhance our life. And thank you one and all for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
So human life is precious and AI is playing an important role in healthcare. Thank you so much, Dr. Baluswamy, for sharing a profound knowledge on such a contemporary topic, that is AI in healthcare. And also thank you very much for being with us on a very short notice. Now we break for the lunch, and we'll meet for the valedictory function at 3:10 p.m. sharp. Thank you, everyone. Punitji, we can close and turn on at 3 o'clock.
Ma'am, there are
One and all, I, Rinku Bhatia, welcome you all to this valedictory session of International Conference on Advancing Engineering Frontiers, Innovations, Challenges and Solutions. It is a proud privilege and honor to have with us Professor Dr. M.P. Kaushik, Pro Vice Chancellor Research, HOIs, HODs, all the members of faculty, participants, attendees, staff, and students. Today in the technical talks and paper presentations, various developments and ideas on cutting-edge technologies in engineering with a wide scope covering various engineering disciplines were presented, which gave us an insight concerned towards current scenario in engineering technologies. I now invite Dr. Hemant Soni, our organizing secretary of the conference, to present before you the report of the conference. Please.
Good afternoon, one and all. Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor Research, dignitaries, Dean, HOI, HODs, participants, faculty member, and dear students. I am highly honored to present the report of National Conference on Advancing Engineering Frontier, Innovations, Challenge and Solution 2024. This conference has been organized with the objective to provide a platform for researchers, academicians, industry experts, and students to share their latest research finding, advancement, and practical experience in various domains of engineering. Another objective to organize this conference is to provide a wide scope of topic covering various engineering disciplines and the latest happening in technology development. This conference provides opportunity for interdisciplinary discussion, fostering innovations and problem solving in their domain. The inaugural session began with the opening remark by Honorable Pro Chancellor, MIT University, Madhya Pradesh. He emphasized on various aspects of engineering and technology, and also pointed the major issues and challenges involved in the development of efficient system in all domains of engineering, including computer science, electronics, civil and mechanical engineering. He discussed about waste management, green and renewable energy, pollution prevention, and a startup ecosystem. Thereafter, the gathering was addressed by the first keynote speaker, Dr. Rajesh Yadav from University of Southampton, Malaysia. He focused on the rising challenges to cybersecurity. He covered various topics including top 15 cyber threat in 2024, who is behind the cyber attack, cybercrime spot in India, and cybersecurity best practices. The address was followed by the release of the conference souvenir by the dignitaries. After the inaugural session, Dr. Yash Chawla from the Wrocław University, Poland, interact with the audience and deliver his talk on AI and human perspective. In his talk, he covered human and technique involved evolutions, what the fuss about AI, and the consideration of using AI. The talk was followed by 3 parallel technical sessions in which 25 oral presentations on different topics of network technology, computer science, applications of machine learning were showcased by the students and researchers from various institutions. The session were concluded with the remark by the chairperson of the respective session, and vote of thanks was proposed by the respective coordinators. After lunch, a keynote speech was delivered by Professor Balamurugan Balaswamy, Associate Dean Students, Shiv Nadar Institute of Eminence, Delhi NCR, on the topic Deep Learning Technique in Healthcare AI. He discussed about the explainable AI in the healthcare. The talk was followed by 3 parallel technical sessions in which 30 oral presentations on different topics of artificial intelligence, advances in electronics engineering, and progressions in mechanical and civil engineering were showcased by the students and researchers from the various institutions. The session were concluded by the remark of the session chair and vote of thanks by the concerned coordinator. The valedictory session of the conference graced by the esteemed presence of Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor Research of Amity University, Madhya Pradesh. For the conference, we received more than 100 papers from various institutions and universities in India, including IIITM Gwalior, D.Y. Patil International University, Pune, Lovely Professional University, Punjab, ICFI University, Sikkim, Sage University, Indore, SSJT University, Jhunjhunu, and many more. A total number of 79 papers were selected for publication after diligent peer review and oral presentations. I hope this conference has successfully contributed in creating awareness about recent trends and technology for development in the area of technology for sustainable growth of society and the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Before inviting Pro Vice Chancellor Research, Professor Dr. M.P. Kaushik, for his concluding remarks, it is my honor to present his brief introduction. After completing his postgraduate studies at Jivaji University in 1977, he moved to Defense Research and Development Establishment, Gwalior, to work for his PhD under the supervision of Dr. R. Vaidyanathaswamy. This collaboration continued during the time here as scientist from 1978 to 1986. In 1987, then he moved to Utah State University, Logan, USA, as visiting scientist in Professor Karan W. Moore's group. In 1988, he came back to India and served DRDO in various capacities. In 1993, Dr. Kaushik became full professor in MIT's Gwalior and served there till 1995 as professor, head of the chemistry department. In 1995, he joined back to his parent organization and served as head of process technology department division and as program director, NBC DRDO. He took over as the director and outstanding scientist of DRDE Gwalior and served there till October 2014. In April 2015, he joined Amity University Gwalior as Pro Vice Chancellor and Professor of Pure and Applied Sciences. He has won many awards and honors such as DRDO Cash Award, Defense Technology Spin-off Award, National Technology Award, Technology Group Award DRDO, Scientist of the Year Award DRDO, Agni Award for Self-Reliance, etc. He has visited many countries like USA, Sweden, Finland, Germany, France, Czech Republic, Tunisia, Switzerland, etc. He has published more than 181 papers in national and international journals and has 20 patents to his credit. I would now like to invite Professor Dr. M.P. Kaushik, sir, Pro Vice Chancellor Research, for his concluding remarks. Please, sir.
Sir, please unmute, sir.
Sir, you are on mute, sir. Please unmute.
Okay. So thank you very much, Dr. Rinku Bhatia, for kind introduction. What I would like to tell you in the morning itself that the seminar, national seminar started on advancing engineering, frontiers, innovators, challenges, and solutions. This was first of its kind that this type of national seminar is being organized by our department called ASSET. So my dear distinguished guests, esteemed speakers, scholars, and participants, now as we draw the curtains of one-day national conference on advancing engineering, frontiers, innovation, challenges, and solutions, I stand here with a profound sense of pride and gratitude. The way the speakers have deliberated in this national conference and almost all kind of topics, starting from the cybersecurity to that of AI in human perspective, as well as the deep learning, and so many other aspects have been covered, which normally talks, as was told by Honorable Chancellor in the morning, the technology is changing very fast. And we have to cope up with the challenge. And at the same time, one of the important aspects which was brought out, the cybersecurity, which is taking a very important aspect of it, and we have to be very careful with respect to pros and cons of the technology. And at the same time, the technology which we have to develop, we should keep in mind that technology should be developed for the welfare of the human mankind and to improve the quality of life. Today, we have witnessed a convergence of intellect, innovations, and inspiration that has propelled us toward the forefront of engineering excellence. Now, throughout the course of this conference, what have I learned by attending a few of the lectures, we have delved into the depth of technological advancement, explored the challenges that lie ahead. And as I mentioned, that the AI, which has gone into almost all aspects of our life, and charted pathways towards sustainable solutions. The exchange of ideas, the sharing of knowledge, and the fostering of the collaboration have been the hallmark of the collective endeavors of this national seminar. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to all the speakers, and particularly the participants, the students who have graced us with their expertise, insight, and vision. Your contribution have enriched our understanding and illuminated new horizon in the engineering. The morning talk, Dr. Rajesh Yadav, as well as Dr. Chawla, Dr. Siddhartha, and other speakers, they could explain the new technologies and the challenges which they are facing. To the scholars and research scholars whose presentation has sparked conversation, this is an ignited curiosity which I learned from Dr. Hemant Soni, and your dedication to the pushing of the boundaries of the knowledge is truly commendable. I congratulate all the participants of the students who presented their papers in the parallel sessions. I also extend my appreciation to the organizing committee for their meticulous planning and tireless efforts in planning this event. Your commitment to the excellence has ensured the smooth conduct of this conference, despite the challenges posed by the virtual format that we are meeting online. But if at all this type of conference is being organized in the physical mode, we can exchange ideas more frequently, and then we understand much more in a better way. And to the participants who have joined us from across the nation, your active engagement and enthusiastic participations have been the instrumental in making this conference a resounding success. I encourage you to carry forward the spirit of inquiry and innovation that has permeated these virtual halls, and to continue contributing towards the advance of engineering frontiers. As we conclude this enriching journey, let us remain committed in our pursuit of excellence, and let us accept the challenge that lie ahead with courage and conviction. Together, let us shape the future where engineering not only meets the needs of the present, but also paves the way for the sustainable and prosperous tomorrow. May the bonds forged and the insight gained during this conference continue to inspire us in the collective pursuits of the engineering excellence. At the end, I would like to thank you all and best wishes for your future endeavors. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, sir, for showering your blessings with your kind words on us and always guiding us and being there for us. May I now call upon Professor Dr. Vikas Thada, Convener and Head of the Department of Computer Science Engineering, to propose a vote of thanks, please.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. This is the last phase of every event where I have to propose the vote of thanks, and I always, feel very good in showing gratitude to someone, to the person, to the event, to the organizers. Okay, and this always gives me, a sense of satisfaction. Yes, I'm saying thank you, because the thank you is a word which I really like very much. I say thank you a number of times, maybe more than 50 times daily. And this is one way to attract more into your life. So starting from, obviously, I would like to thank Founder President, sir, then C6, sir, Pro Chancellor, sir, Officiating Vice Chancellor, sir, then Pro Vice Chancellor, sir, Kaushik, sir, for giving me permission to host this event and providing an environment, okay, where I can be with all those, students, faculties, who help me in organizing particular event, shaping the particular way in which this conference to be organized. Then next, I'd like to say thank you, all my organizing committee, the committee, discipline committee, finance committee. Then you have the registration committee, media committee, who have worked tirelessly and meticulously so that this particular conference turns out to be, as successful as it should be. Then I'd like to say thank you to all the authors, presenters who contributed their papers, who joined the parallel sessions today, and delivered their best of whatever papers they could do. All our session chairs, the moderators who are there to judge the student, okay, to help the student and see what development they have brought in our national conference. I'd like to thank a lot to all our keynote speakers, Dr. Rajesh Yadav from Southampton University, Malaysia, then Dr. Yash Chawla from Wrocław University, Poland, and a special thank goes to the Balamurugan Balasemi because on a short notice, okay, he was over there. And he delivered, all three delivered, starting from cyber security, then the human AI perspective, and towards the end, the deep learning explainable AI within the healthcare environment, all were fantastic presentations, and they really helped us to learn what exactly is being done into the field of machine learning, cybersecurity, AI. Okay. Mostly the speakers were talking about CSA kind of background. Okay, but we hope that in next kind of conferences we'll be having some presentations from the mechanical, from the electrical, and civil department also. Towards end, I'd like to thank all my faculties, all my staff who directly or indirectly have helped and contributed to the success of this particular conference. Last but not the least, I'd like to thank the Noida team. Okay, just because of them, the session is being organized virtually. And Ram Tomar sir, IT department, Kapil Solanki ji over there. Then the Puneet, who is handling this complete session right from morning till evening. And lastly, I'll say thank you to the Almighty because everyone contributed, willingly, unwillingly, but He's always with us in any manner. So I always say thank you that because of Him, all the people were very friendly, and because of them, everything was, coming very quickly, and all the tasks which were related to the conference was done without any hiccup. So thank you all those who have contributed, Rinku ma'am, you, then Anuj sir, Hemant Soni sir, Rajiv sir, and all other Raghavan sir also, all who have helped us that the conference should take a good shape and its execution should be successful. So with this, I simply conclude that the topic which was there, that advancing engineering frontiers, innovation, solutions, and challenges, whatever are there. So these things really want that whatever challenges we are facing in today's life, whatever engineering challenges we are facing, we should come up with innovative solutions. This was the theme of our conference, and I think with the presentation of the various authors, we have come to know that what are challenges are there, what some solutions are there. So thank you, everyone. Thank you.
So with this, we come to the end of the fruitful day of technical deliberations of this national conference. I hope you must have savored each moment of the proceedings to the fullest. We sincerely wish to meet you again with renewed vigor and interest for exposition to a gainful research and development in engineering technologies again. Thank you, everyone, and have a good and safe day. Thank you so much. Puneet ji, you can close now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.